Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Quentin from Capri AI. I've got another good training for you guys today, and it's based on how to rebill your clients for the usage of ChatGPT, or more specifically, GPT-4. And we're doing this because GPT-4 is pretty expensive, but it's also the most accurate and most powerful of the OpenAI models that are available right now. So to make sure that we can maintain cost, we came up with a solution, at least for now, that allows you to rebill your clients for the usage of their GPT-4 interactions, and then you can actually even mark it up a little bit if you want. So let's look at just kind of the basics. So in the last video that I shared, it was specifically how to use a website chat widget to turn into an SMS, which turns into an appointment being booked. And so as you can see, this is for a pest control company. We have the full conversation. You can watch the other video. I'll have it linked below to make sure that you can see how this actually came to fruition. But basically, we need help with ants in our kitchen. We sent the automated message, and then the bot took over from there. Gave the zip code, and then asked about the home type, the details, and stuff like that. And then eventually, we did get all the way down to the bottom where now we do have an appointment actually booked for that contact. So that is an actual monetizable outcome from a simple website. So the next step is to make sure that we're also rebilling the client for the usage of that OpenAI model. So the way that we put it is, if you already have the snapshot, which I'll make sure I have linked below, you have a workflow just like this. And this is how we keep up with the ongoing conversation from the lead after they've already filled out their information on the website. And so from here, this is the actual webhook that's costing you money, if you want to think about it like that. So the model type, ChatGPT, if you have this set to GPT-4, this is where you can get a little expensive. So right after we fire that webhook, right after the actual interaction itself, this is where we'll actually now put another webhook step. And so we'll put webhook, and then this is where we'll put our no code make.com scenario URL. So for no code solutions, I always use make.com. I've used it for the longest. I like it. It's the most cost efficient. It's the most robust. So as you can see, I have this URL here. And so I can copy that address to that clipboard, put it as a step here, URL. So I'll put it right there. And then from there, all I have to do is save it and then test it once. And so you have to test it by basically, whenever you create this scenario, it'll say redetermine data structure. So if you do redetermine data structure, you'll basically just have to put a test through this workflow one time to fire it. And then once it has the data structure determined once, you never have to do it again. So which, by the way, I'm going to share the link to the blueprint to this JSON. And I believe, don't quote me, but I believe, since I've already determined the structure once and it's not going to change for you, you shouldn't even have to redo that part. But just in case you do, that is how you do it. You just put the webhook in here. It's going to say waiting for data, and then you just fire it once. From there, what you're going to do is you're going to search a Google sheet. And so I have just a very, very simple Google sheet here that has the location ID. Just in case you don't know, you get the location ID from the URL right here. I also have the name from the account, and then I have the usage itself, and then the request pricing, and then the total cost based off of the total usage. And so essentially, to make this work and make it the simplest, we know that we have that one spreadsheet. You can just start with a totally blank spreadsheet, but of course, I'll put a template for you to use if you want. You put a totally blank spreadsheet with just a few headers here, like location ID, the name of the location, the usage. Those are the three that matter the most. So once you have those set, you'll search for the row, you'll search in sheet one, and you'll put it just like this. So filter for the location ID to equal the location ID that came from the webhook step. So we'll only allow for one row to be returned to prevent duplicates, and then we'll have a router. And then if the sheet row was found, so this basically means that row number is found, it exists, then we're going to go ahead and update by taking what's in there and doing a math operator. So not just plus sign, but you do have to do a math operator, and then just add one. So it'll basically just add one every time. And I believe this may have to be different kind. Give me 1 second. It's actually supposed to be some functionality. Sorry, not parse number, but you change it to some here, and then you put the spreadsheet row, which is going to be the cost here. Or I'm sorry, the usage. So it's going to be C, and then one, and then this will add the two together every time there's a request. So essentially, what you end up with is as these webhooks are firing, so every time that webhook fires through your workflow scenario here, it'll update the spreadsheet request just like this. And so if I send, one more message, let's say if I say something like, see you real soon or something like that. Basically, I should see because the webhook fired again, and it used my OpenAI key, it's actually going to fire this make scenario, and in real time, it's going to update the spreadsheet. So this should keep up with my usage here. So, and just so you know, the way that we're getting this value is we actually, as you can see, it did just update in real time, just took a second. But the way we're getting this is just by basically setting this price to whatever we want and then having this formula just multiply this by this. And what this allows you to do is actually also have an independent pricing per client if you want to have. You don't have to set that one price for every single person. So this will allow you to keep up with tracking usage for all of your clients, and keep it all in one spreadsheet. And then you can have one more scenario if you want to take it one more step, is you can go through and have a scenario that goes like once a week or once a month or however you want to do your billing cycle, and just basically go through and create a Stripe action that creates an invoice for every single one of these clients. You would basically just need to have another field up here called customer ID in Stripe. And then you can go through and just look at every customer ID and rebuild them in Stripe accordingly. So I hope this makes sense. I know this is really a high level overview. I didn't want to get too confusing and too technical in this one, but this is how a lot of our users are actually rebilling their clients for the usage as well. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, please leave them. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching and happy building.